Welcome everyone to Neverwinter on PC. My name is Rainer and today I will be releasing version 0.10.6 of the character builder and announcing the start of a new build competition. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you would like to see more information or videos about Neverwinter, hit the subscribe button. It's been a couple of months now since the previous build competition and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot more fun than I was expecting, to be honest. It also gave me some great insight in build score weirdness and where I would have to tweak it more, and basically I want to learn more. Of course, since then a lot also has been added to the character builder, which adds a lot of detail to specific builds, and also this version will add some more detail as well as some fixes for this competition and some other stuff. So before we go into the details of the competition itself, let's go through the changes first. And as always, we do this via the changelog, otherwise I will forget half the stuff. So if we go to the change tracker, you can see here version 10.6, quite some changes, but it's been 2 weeks again, something like that. So the first item on the list, I made somewhat of a workaround against pets with the same name merging together. So the issue was I was only discriminating the characters and also the pets by name. And now if you, let me quickly load something here. What you see here now is if you split pet damage, you get here also the name of the owner of the pet in here. There is a small issue here that if you go to the breakdown, yeah, this splitting doesn't always work perfectly, but yeah, this is better than what it was, because it was just combining damage of pets with the same name, and that's not good. So there's a slight disadvantage here in the breakdown where you have multiple of the same pets, but here in damage and the other screens, the main screens, this works perfectly fine. Another thing that I did, which is pretty important and the base of some other changes in here, which I'll come to, I reworked the gear database to be much more accurate, and I'm not kidding when I say much more accurate. I will get to how accurate it is in a second. So what I also did, I added ranks for artifact gear. So now you can pick any rank for any gear. So let me show that real quick. If you pick here a main hand, you have some stats here. This is the rank 60 stats. You have a rank indicator here. But if you don't have this gear at max rank, then in the past you couldn't equip it and have the same stats as in the builder, but now you can change this, can make it rank 1, and then you have the stats of a rank 1 item. Of course, this goes from 1 till 60, which is the maximum, and that's that. For the waist and neck piece, I also added that the attributes 1 are shown here, but I'll also get to that point later on. But these things also now scale. Well, they didn't scale before because I didn't have scaling in there, but nowadays these are actually accurate as to what the game gives you. So you can say everything scales nicely per rank. I did the same, so this is the artifact gear, main hand, offhand. The other gear of course doesn't have this, main hand, offhand, neck and waist. Artifacts of course also have ranks, that's the next point. You can pick here any rank from 1 to 140. 140 is the maximum of course. So if I select something here, I again can go from 140 and then all the way down to 1. And you can see here, for example, if I pick now the Forge Hammer of Gaunt, it's down to 1 decimal, and if I go into the game real quick, yeah, oh, it doesn't have a rank 1, okay, wrong one. I have to pick something else, 1 second. Let's pick, I don't know, this is not in there, let's pick the Golden Memories. Oh wait, let's pick something. Apocalypse dagger here. Just pick this one. Okay, let's go to the Apocalypse dagger. I think it's more to the left here. Was it here? Wicked. This is the one, right? Yeah. So if we move that to here, and then we compare it to what we have here. Can I get this on top? Yeah. Apocalypse dagger. This is still in the way. And I hover over this. You can see that at rank 1, it has exactly the same values as what it has in the build, in the character builder. So if I go to something else here in between, rank 60 for example, for this epic version, it's rank 60, you can see once again this is exactly the same. So this is super accurate right now. If you guys still find any small differences, please let me know. But yeah, I do not round stuff anymore, so now it's accurate to the decimal. So I hope that I got rid of all of the minor differences that you still saw, the 1 to 5 differences, which actually do not mean anything. It's 0.001 per stat point difference in percent. So it doesn't really matter that much, but still, I want to have it the same. So yeah, that's how accurate it is right now. Let's go out of here again. The changelog. So yeah, we have this. Then there are a couple of artifacts which don't have a similar max rank as others, so they don't go up to mythic, or they don't go up to the max rank. These do not scale properly in here, but I don't see people using this. They don't give unnecessary high stats. At rank 140 they give the maximum stats that they gave before, but yeah, they don't scale downwards properly as they should. But yeah, I don't think this is really a big issue. Yeah, so what I already showed you, for example, this one, here you now see these attributes as well. Those were not there before, and that led to some confusion. You can also see them, of course, here now. So this is the same text. You can see your attributes there now. Incoming damage reduction. So what we had before, and that was a small bug of mine, is that, let's load a tank build real quick. I don't know which one, this one or something. I know that tank builds use incoming damage reduced a lot. So what I had before is that all of the incoming damage reduced sources were just added up. So if you had 10% this and 20% that, you would get to 30%. But that's not how the game works, because that would mean that ultimately you could get to 100% or more and not take damage anymore. That's not how the game works. Actually, incoming damage reduction sources are multiplied with each other, and you can see that here. The first item is multiplied with 100%, so it gives you the full thing, and the next one is multiplied by 90% because 10% is already off. Then the last one is multiplied by 85.5%, so it is also a bit less. So you get less and less the more you already have. So that's also processed now. There was a sneaky bug in the builder that if you had Runic Aura equipped yourself, you can equip it here. If you had it equipped, you could then equip it again via the combat simulator in external buffs. You can say someone else is also using Runic Aura, and then you had it twice basically, and that is not possible anymore. So if you use it yourself, you don't get it from the party anymore, you get it once. Then a small correction here in the player stats. Average damage and average effective HP actually had a small mistake in how deflag/accuracy worked. I basically only took into account the damage when deflected and didn't take into account the damage when not deflected. So I added this. That made the damage score a little bit higher, the average damage score, and the effective HP went down a little bit with that change. But yeah, We'll get to the calculation stuff later on. Then a couple things for the combat log analyzer parser. In a previous version I also implemented that it automatically parses Vault of Stars and the Tower of the Mad Mage. And there were some issues in there that some phases were not correctly parsed, or sometimes it cut off the parsing, and there were some fixes for that. First of all, in Tom, they seem to have walked into a timeout. I have a timer for 30 seconds. If you don't see damage for 30 seconds, I assume that the encounter has ended, because I have to see a way that it has ended. I increased this to 45 to avoid that issue. Apparently there is a way to have 30 seconds of no damage in there. Then Blood Ladder. This is kind of a weird one because it does damage from a player to a player, and that broke the Vault of Stars parser, and that's also something that I fixed, so I took this as an exception again. Slowed Reactions Companion Enhancement Power now is correct. It was exactly the same as Counteract, and that's not correct. It's a different one. I think this one lowers the enemy deflection, and Counteract increases your deflection or something like that. Let me see. Oh, close this. So we have slowed reactions to, oh boy, to reduce an enemy's deflect. So slowed reaction reduces an enemy's deflect, and this one increases your deflect. Yeah, I fix that typo in a second. So that's also corrected. Then the campfire buff. There was an issue that this one did not apply immediately. So if you go to your attributes, then if you change this, it would not immediately apply, and I also fixed that, of course. The combat log analyzer parser now has single quotes in power name, so that was something that was just annoying me. Every quote in there was doubled. I'm not gonna look for it right now, but now it doesn't do that anymore. Also some number localization. I typically don't see that because I only use my own localization, of course, but what I noticed in some screenshots of other people is that if you don't have the same formatting as what I have, then you would see that the thousands are separated by dots, and then the percentages are also separated by dots, so the decimals are separated by dots, and that's of course a little bit weird. So I made sure that now if you have the decimals as a dot, that your thousands are also separated by commas. Yeah, basically that. So this should look a little bit better or more clear for people that are living in, I think, the US and maybe other places where they have different localization settings. Then Fall, of course, has a new mount and a new artifact. I added those as well. Let's see. Oh yeah, Power was not showing on the companion stat screen for those who ever looked here. It was always 0, so I fixed that, or at least it was 0 for the combined rating from companion stats. They were not added there, so I fixed that. And combat advantage uptime is now just by default set to 100%. A lot of people were making comments about that. I just picked something in the past. I just set it to 100% now. You can still set it lower if you want. For the competition, I don't advise to set it lower because 100% will be better, but this is now a free option. So that's all the changes in the new version of the in the character builder. Let's go to the competition. Of course, we will do this competition in this version and only this version. I will try, while the competition is running, to not make a new version because that would lead to confusion. Let's start off with the prizes. So I will have a main prize for the highest build score per roll, just like last time, and then on top of that we will have also a prize per highest build score per paragon. So we'll have 3 main prizes for the rolls, and then 16 auto prizes. As for the main prizes, I have legendary beholder mount keys for all 3 platforms. I have 2 each. So if we have 3 winners from the same platform, then I have an issue. So let's not make that happen, or we will figure something out, I guess. But yeah, I have 6 of those, so 2 per platform, so we should be good there. As for the Paragon prizes, I have a lot of auto codes available for each platform. Amongst others, I have more unicorns, which are very, very popular. I have lions, crabs, cloaks, and more. For PC, I also personally have some other stuff that I can probably give away. I will have to look for that. Each winner can basically pick a prize. If I don't have enough of a certain prize, if I don't have enough codes, well then, of course, I cannot give the same prize to everyone. So at that point, I will raffle the prize, and then the loser can pick something else. But as I said, we'll figure that part out later. As with the previous competition, there are a couple constraints which revolve around making this a Zariel build making competition. Yes, again. These all apply to the combat simulator basically. So we're going to have some constraints in this combat simulator. If we go to the combat simulator, we start out, let's say the area. Area has to be any. This is just any, so no bonuses from area specific stuff. The rest is all free. This will be filled in automatically. You cannot edit this. Oh wait, you can edit this, but you cannot edit these. These are fixed. Then in combat settings, enemy type has to be boss. Enemies has to be 1, because most of the time, or the most damage will be done when enemy number of enemies is 1. Enemy HP will be set to 50%, the average. And then enemies killed has to be 0. Alright, then we go to combat procs here. Let's show all here real quick. These are not allowed to be set, and time since this is a little bit weird, but this one has to go to 20 seconds. That's basically all here. The rest is all free to use. And then in external buffs, because it's a little bit weird how they work, but that's how they work in game. I don't want these to be raised, so these have to be 0, tamed and Raptor. And runic aura in the party is not allowed. You can use it yourself on your build, as I said. You can also use it as a mount power, but this one, it's just everyone would be using it basically, so it wouldn't really contribute properly. Everything else is free to use. So those are the only constraints. As for your class stuff, you can use whatever you want. I will also post these rules very clearly with pictures and everything in my Discord in the hashtag build competition channel. So make your build in this character builder version with those constraints, and then send it to my email reiner.neverwinter@gmail.com, and from there I will organize all the builds. I can imagine that some of you would like to know more regarding how I calculate build score, what to look out for, what is giving what, how do you get to this number? I've gotten that question a lot. It is quite difficult to explain, and that's why I chose to just release the calculations. I put them all neatly into a separate unit, and that unit I will also release. So we can go into it real quick. So this is really coding. This is actual code that is running in the character builder. This is the main function that calculates build score. It has some inputs. So what role do you have? What is your final damage value? What are your stats? And what are the combat simulator settings? And then this stuff is coming out, and these are filled in your player stats screen. So this function will call these here to calculate these values and fill them in here. And then these functions will call these functions to calculate modifiers. That's basically how it works. And down here you will see all of the individual calculations. I did try to add some commentary where I thought that it was necessary or where it would help. Yeah, I hope it is clear for those who are interested in this. I try to make it as neat as possible. There's a lot of comments in this stuff, why I chose what and things like that. So this will be also released in the same channel, in the hashtag build competition channel on my Discord. So you can just look in here and see how I calculate my stuff. And based on that, make your build, if it helps. All the builds that are supplied will ultimately be released in the Neverwinter hub, of course. So in here, we already have 109 builds, but ultimately I will release them here under a different account as my account. I will make a competition account for this and I will put all the builds in there when the competition is over, of course. You can add them also to the hub, but then upload them as a private build. Don't upload them publicly, because then people can just steal your build. And I don't think that's something that you want in a competition. On my Discord I will also keep track of the current highest scores of each role and of each paragon. I will do that again in the same build competition channel. So if you want to know if you're winning, you can look there. I will only display the highest score without any name. So you can see for yourself if you're winning or someone else. The competition will run for basically as long as I deem needed, but I would say it will run for at least 2 weeks. So this is your moment to rise and shine and go win your prize instead of relying on RNG. Good luck and have fun, everyone. If you have any remarks on this video or any suggestions on what to investigate next, feel free to leave a comment below and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video.